1,000 U.S. Marines and an Army combat aviation unit have their deployment orders. This is the first wave of the president's 30,000 troop surge in Afghanistan. They'll be on the ground in just 2 weeks. Rapid deployment. Congresswoman Jane Harman is ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee. Hi, good to see you. And you are the chair of the Intelligence Subcommittee, of course, so you've got a lot on your plate. Let's talk about this speedy deployment. I know that you have suggested analogies with Vietnam. You've suggested that you don't think that this is the right move. You've said that you think that that they need to really take a much harder look at this. Let me let you put it in your own words.
Well, what I've said is that I applaud the president's new regional approach to the problem. I think the part of his strategy that applies to Pakistan is right on, and that is to provide enhanced economic and military opportunities for Pakistan if they finally abandon their playing both sides strategy and crack down on terror groups along the border that are attacking in Afghanistan. And those include al-Qaeda, the Haqqani network, and Lashkar-e-Taiba, which is what they used to, what some folks use to attack India. If that happens, Afghanistan will be a lot more secure. So I'm for that. I'm also for working around President Karzai in Afghanistan. I've said on this show that it's the corruption, stupid. Afghanistan is hopelessly corrupt. So I'm for all of that. What I don't think will work is the 30,000 soldier surge. I think it is too expensive, but also I think we're drawing the wrong lessons. Afghanistan is really not like Iraq. It's a completely different country. It is much more rural, and the population is dispersed, and the Taliban is an indigenous group, not like al-Qaeda was in Iraq. And so I think the parallel here is much closer to Vietnam than it is to Iraq, and that's why I oppose this piece of the strategy.
Do you think there are votes to block it, votes in the Democratic Party to block it, to try to vote against the money or other appropriations on this?
Well, as you pointed out, Andrea, the president's already sending in the troops. He signed the orders before he announced the strategy. There won't be any vote in Congress anytime soon. If there had been a vote on deploying these additional troops, I would have voted no. But the vote we will have in the spring sometime is as part of, I think, the next budget. And I think the president won't send this up as a supplemental.
Then he'll argue that the troops are already there, they need the money, and you'll be accused of denying them, bulletproof vests or other kinds of battle gear.
We'll see what that vote is. I have voted against some forms of military budgets when I thought they were wrong, and we'll just have to see what the vote is in the spring. I'm expressing my position now because I want to be sure that this strategy is focused on the right things. And let me just say another thing. I think the most dangerous security threat to the United States is Iran. It is not Afghanistan, and it is not Pakistan. It's Iran, Pakistan, and maybe North Korea. Afghanistan doesn't make my top 5. So we're going to spend a lot of billions of dollars on Afghanistan at a time when we have hemorrhaging debt and deficits and a large unemployment at home. And we better be mindful that this cannot be an open-ended commitment. And for that reason, I really applaud the president's focus on 2011 as hopefully the end game here.
Let me switch gears on you and play a little bit of what you had to say. One of the questions that you raised at the Homeland Security, at the oversight hearing today of Homeland Security on the subject of those gate crashers. Glad to see that you're a Bruce fan. Let's watch.
Tickets were received well in advance. They were printed on high-tech tamper-proof paper. They came with barcodes that were quickly scanned for authenticity. There were no lines. There was no confusion. And there was no security problem. I am not suggesting that Christmas at the White House is a Bruce Springsteen concert, but I am suggesting that there may be more modern techniques for screening people who are trying to enter the White House building.
I was at that concert at the Verizon Center a couple of weeks ago. No problem getting in, but you were screened in a very careful way. And who knew that the White House was easier to crash than a Springsteen concert? But more seriously, the points that you were making was that they've got to take a look at modernizing their procedures. Yet at the same time, Mr. Sullivan from the Secret Service director was falling on his sword. Where were the other witnesses today?
Well, he's the prime witness. It was their responsibility, the Secret Service, and our committee has jurisdiction over the Secret Service, so that was the logical witness. The couple were invited. I'm not sure that would do more than be a media circus. I've read their views in the newspaper, and I don't think that they are. I'm frankly not much interested in them. I am interested in the White House role, and in that regard, I do think, and I did say this, and so did Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, that there should have been some Social Secretary office presence alongside of the Secret Service at the checkpoints. But having said all that, having a list of paper, a list with paper list with people on it, and screening people one at a time in the rain who are all dressed up for a party may not be our best business model. And that's the point I was making this morning. This is not like a big box sale after Thanksgiving, and it's not even like a Springsteen concert. This is an opportunity, let's hope not, to compromise the security of the President of the United States and high-level political officials from other countries, and it would have been appalling had anything gone wrong here. And I do applaud Director Sullivan for taking full responsibility for the breakdown on his watch.
Jane Harman, direct from the Hill, thank you very much.